Welcome everybody to sunny Dartmoor. We seem to have picked the windiest weekend it is ever possible to pick. We left home at about 6 o'clock and due to traffic got here at about 8:30 and then into camp sometime after 9:30. One of the things that I wanted to do last night was to get this brand new Mountain Laurel Designs Trailstar in the new, I can't think with this in the new silpoly material, and as you can see you can get it very, very low. We would be able to get it, you know, lower still. So we sealed it last night. It's not a very pretty job, and I will make sure that I have sealant with me in case I've, you know, missed a little bit. But I was basically doing it last night under torchlight at about 10:30, you know, literally 10:30 last night. But I've also brought with me Chris Townsend's Hilleberg Niak, which I have to say clearly is not designed for quite so strong wind as this. But it's holding up. It's doing fine. It hasn't collapsed. We haven't wrecked it. But I must admit, with hindsight, probably not the best, you know, tent to bring. But I wanted to bring it, and it's just interesting to see how it gets on. But it's, you know, it's clearly not designed for this weather. You know, it's very big catenary type cuts for ventilation on the three sides and the back. It's definitely a shelter for good oh God. It's definitely a shelter for good weather, or better weather than this. That's quite a bend in there. But it's holding up okay. And the forecast is for better, is for the wind to die down a little bit, you know, later on. The Trailstar, on the other hand, with the same wind, is hardly moving at all. This is why I must admit I rather like the, oh Jesus, whoa. I think this is the windiest part of the afternoon. Whoa. I don't know how strong that wind is. It's not blowing me over, but it's probably mid-20s. I have to say it's a little bit windier than I would prefer this Niak to be in, but it's you know, it can clearly take it just about. It's pegged out well. That's probably as strong a gust as we're going to get, I think, this afternoon. It's a westerly wind coming, directly across there, so it is quite exposed. To be honest, this is one of my regular spots, and I camp here at all times of the year, and I don't ever remember wind like this up here. But you can see the Trailstar is just, it's not even taking any notice of it. And I've got it pitched quite low. Obviously, if I was going to be sleeping under it, then I probably would pitch it, a little bit lower in this weather. When I've got, a little bit more time, then we'll do more video on this Trailstar. But you can see that it's in this pretty strong wind. It's easily holding up. I won't sleep in it, mainly because I brought camera equipment with me. I've got a brand new camera channel, so do go and check that out if you're, well, more interested in me than cameras probably, but if you're vaguely interested in cameras and me and my oddities, then you might be interested in that. There'll be a link in the description. Oh, thank you. All muddy. Yeah, so I didn't bother bringing the ground sheet or anything for the Trailstar. I really just brought it out just to get a couple of photographs. If the weather had been more reasonable, then maybe I would have done, a bit more with it, but it's not very easy filming in this, and I'm only here one day. I have to head back tomorrow. Tiny respite from the wind there, very, very tiny. It's a windy old day. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna try and just grab a couple more photographs of Lassie, and then I think I'm gonna go and duck under cover for a bit, because it's really not very nice out here. I might even actually collapse the Trailstar this afternoon. There's no point in doing a high pitch or anything like that with it, because it's just simply, it's just simply too windy. But you can see that the new silpoly, thankfully does pitch nice and low to the ground. Well, good evening everybody. I do apologise if it's a little bit on the dark side. It's 8 o'clock, and I have to admit I was rather tired, and I put my head down for an afternoon nap, which I don't normally do actually. But I put my head down for an afternoon nap at 5 o'clock, and the next thing I knew, it was 7 o'clock. So what we're going to do today is we're going to heat up my own concoction. Now, I didn't bring anything extra with me. But Lassie, go back. But that is a real... Lassie, as you can tell from Lassie, that is a real piece of sausage. And there's the equivalent of 3 sausages in here. I've got potato. Oh, hang on, I didn't take out the, ow, fuck. I didn't take out the poor Messner dry thing. There's potato, there's vegetables. I think there's some broccoli in there, which I fried, so it actually tastes okay. So that's what it looks like in the pan. So you've got bits of potato, bits of sausage, I think bits of pepper, onion, broccoli. There's literally everything in there. Now, what I was going to do, I was going to soak it for about 20 minutes and then cook it, or, you know, heat it up. But I must admit, because it's already 8 o'clock, I'm kind of thinking I ought to just get on and heat it up, really. It's been a funny old day, really. I did some video. I don't know how well it's going to come out. I don't know what people are going to make of it. Anyway, I did some video for my new photography channel. I think also for this this YouTube business thing, I think I'm just generally too bone idle and too lazy to make a huge success out of it. That's why it's always very ad hoc and let's see what happens type of thing. And of course, we're our usual organised selves around here. Oh. Hang on. Oh, that's not it. Right. Okay. All right. So we've got we finally found the batteries. I take these cod liver oil, glucosamine and omega-3, and I just try to remember to take those. I do think the glucosamine, or whatever it's called anyway, the joint tablet thing, I do think that helps my ancient old crickety knees, because I'm sure when I don't take them, my knees are not very comfortable for walking on, let's say. But when I do remember to take them, I'm sure the old knees, you know, do ease up a little bit. That's what it looks like, but it's going to take... It took quite a lot of drying. I noticed the potato and the veggies dried quite quickly, but the sausage, that took quite a lot of drying. And I think previously when I've done this, I think I've made the meat very, very dry, but I'm not convinced that I've made it 100% dry. Certainly no issues from the point of view of cooking or eating or anything like that. But, you know, I just have this feeling that I've not made it dry enough previously, because I did the sausage for, I think it was like 18 plus hours, and it felt dry, but it didn't snap. So in the end, I think I ended up doing it for another like 12 hours or something like that. And then after that 12 hours, then it snapped. I definitely think we're going to have to give this, you know, a little bit of time. No, it is hot because it had come to the boil, but I think we're going to have to give it, we'll give it about 10 minutes, and then we'll maybe put a bit more fire under it. So it's 1:15 at the moment. Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put, where's your foot, a bit more fire under that, and maybe just a drop more water. I think it's soaking up the water quite well, actually. Maybe it, going by how that water slopped in, maybe it didn't even need that water. We might need some more fuel, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna let that warm up. So it's 8:30, it's quite dark and dull. It's been a thoroughly miserable day. I didn't bother measuring the wind speed. I wasn't being blown over, but there were some pretty strong gusts. It must have been gusting up to high 20s, I would say. The forecast has it in the 40s and even 50s for around here. I actually don't think that it was that windy here, but it was certainly, you know, it was certainly on the limit of this tent. I don't think you'd realistically want to be using this tent in the 40s or the 50s. I think that would be too much for it. And you definitely need to be having the door done up when it's very, very windy, because the door forms part of the, structure. Because at one point, don't tell Chris this, sorry Chris, I mean, it shows how bouncy it is, to be honest, because at one point I opened the door because I wanted to start putting my stuff back in before I got in, the camera and what have you. And with the door open, the wind caught the back of it and sort of just bowed the front down. Not very much, but if it had been me, I think my legs and body would have snapped. But it just went with it, and just sort of bounced back up again. It's a very flexible. It's a very flexible shelter. But yeah, I wouldn't be using this shelter in this type of weather again. I really just wanted to, you know, get it out and give it a go this trip, and I hadn't quite expected it to be quite as windy as it was for July. I mean, this is ridiculous weather for July. All right, so we've got more fire under there, so I think we'll give that another 5 minutes just to see. No, you stay there. We'll give it another 5 minutes to see, and then we'll No, lassie, stay. And then we'll go from there. It's not even very nice out there for you, lassie, is it? You're normally out in all that weather and everything, but even you've come under cover, haven't you? Oh, lassie. Oh, lassie. Okay, now you stay there. Oh dear. Do you want to go out? Wait. You want to go out? Go on then. You're not too sure. You want to go out? Go on then. It's not very nice. It's not very nice even for you, is it? You normally go out there. You're getting a bit old now. You're like you like it. Oh, what are you going to do then? No, you want to stay inside? Okay. Alright, let's put some water out for you then. That might be a good idea, because we're not really by water, are we? I think we drank last night though. Didn't ask for water. There you are, have a drink. Oh dear. There you have a drink. Oh, I'm a rubbish dog owner. Surprise you could last this well, lassie. Oh dear. Okay, alright, well, I think it's time to try this food. It's been boiled, soaked, left to stand for 10 minutes, boiled, had even more standing time. So used to you being near water. What did you drink last night though? Because normally you're asking for water. No, you had enough now, have you? You had enough now. Did you find a puddle somewhere or something knowing you? Or you just drank the rain or something? Alright. It's starting to get quite dimpsy, even though it's not dark for another 45 minutes. It's definitely getting dimpsy. Alright, so we've got a huge bowl of food here. I mean, look at that for a real piece of potato. And that has hydrated quite well. Not bad at all. And sausage. Tastes good. I must admit, the ones you buy, I think probably are nicer than mine, but which reminds me actually, Expedition Foods, they saw my last video and they liked my honesty so much, they've passed to their kitchens about, you know, some changes that I suggested in my video. So it'll be interesting to see whether anything happens there in the future. I think I need to make my pieces of potato smaller. They're just a bit too big to eat. And they asked if I'd like that 10% discount back again, so for a month. So I said, well, leave it for the moment, because after this trip, whenever this video goes out, and we're now the middle of July, I won't be out. No, you stay there. I won't be out again until the middle of August, so, and then I'll try and camp twice in August, the middle and end of August. So if we're going to do any influencing, then we'll do it in August. So there's some broccoli. I can eat my broccoli because I tend to fry it. Well, good evening, everybody. Finally, we have some peace. The weather has calmed. You know, the forecast, the original forecast for this evening was 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. I don't think we've had that here anyway. I think it's probably been high 20s. It's been very blustery. It's kind of pushed against the body, but not, you know, it hasn't been pushing me over. So, you know, I'm not going to say, oh, it's been, you know, 40 odd mile an hour. No, I don't think it's been that much here, but it's definitely been pretty brisk winds, but it has calmed down. And I just checked the forecast, and it's like the gusts are like high teens or low 20s now, not even in the 30s. Whereas the forecast for the gusts for this general area was like in the 40s and the 50s, you know, a few hours ago, and overnight was in the 30s to 40s. But now it seems to have settled down, and the forecast is for oh fuck. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god, Tony. Oh god, you're the bloody compo of sodding YouTube, you are. You're filthy. Oh my god. There's no wonder nobody bloody watches you, you filthy bastard. Oh god. Where was I? Oh yeah, the wind. We were talking about the bloody wind, weren't we? Oh my god, there's no bloody hope. Oh my god, I swear I'm getting, more disgusting as I get older. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So as you can see, you know, the door is barely flapping in the winds here, you know. Because I didn't bring a light with me because we're in the middle of bloody summer. But it's definitely calmed down. I've put this bit of foam mat down here in the doorway. It's handy for putting your feet on. It's handy for Lassie if she wants to lie down. Although I think she's gone outside. Now it's calmed down. She might just stay outside this evening, I don't know. But I have been trying to get her on this, you know, a little bit occasionally. But it's also handy to stand up on that little corner there, where you're very, very close to the door, and chuck your little do your wee-wees out the door out there, without actually having to go outside, where you're kind of standing up in the doorway, but just get out there and so that was really what I really wanted to do, was to get out and oh gosh, it's nearly 11 o'clock, or Is it? Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Like I said, I fell asleep at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I felt so flaming tired. I fell asleep at 5 o'clock. And then the next thing I knew, it was 7. Oh, God damn. It's that dinner. Oh my God. Maybe that sausage dinner wasn't so bad after all. I will show you around camp tomorrow when we got a bit of light. Oh, I need to have a pee and have another cup of tea and oh dear. And then I think settle down. And then I think settle down for the night, try and put my head down and get some sleep. Alright, okay, I'm gonna do what I need to do. This might be the last video for today, so if it is, I will see you all, oh dear me, tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Check out the next day, the next part.